Saturday, April 21. Father's birthday today. That's my dad. 50 years old. Reached our destination this morning. Slept on ground last night. Received new gloves from salvage. No field jacket. Got steel helmet, but no liner. Had a talk with old farmer who lived in this house before. He said he never was a Hitlerist. I could see in his eyes that he never was fooled by Hitler. The old folks weren't snowed under by the Nazis like the younger generation was. Sunday, April 22nd, had chicken for dinner, was talking to a young lady next door. She was very good to us. She gave us 3 eggs apiece. She almost forced me to take them. She said she had 3 brothers lost in action, one in Russia, Finland, and Sweden. We had reports of SS troops in the vicinity. Several officers have been tortured and strangled. Hitler was accidentally shot through the thigh by a .32 pistol by Perkovich. I think they didn't get along. Russians reported only 16 miles from Berlin. Had rifle inspection today by Lieutenant Green, who has replaced Lieutenant Teal. This morning we moved out and went to a bridge crossing. It is a very poor road, but will do. It has been hailing and raining today. We are to guard this bridge site tonight. Mailed a letter home this morning, are to sleep in old shack tonight. Vehicles are fording rivers in all places of this sector. The rivers are swift but shallow with rock bottom. Left bridge site and arrived to a former German barracks in the vicinity of Krailschein, which is around Stuttgart. Due to mines found around A and B companies working the areas, we will sweep the areas before work for mines. Squad's day off, played poker and lost again. Got a radio box for my personal articles. Good improvement. Wrote a letter home. Slept full field after the poker game ended at 3. Awoke at 5:30 and left. Arrived in the vicinity of Holland and removed roadblock, also filled holes in road. Lieutenant Green is a pretty good guy so far, from Indiana. Russians reported in Berlin last Monday. War should end very soon for Germany. Many prisoners being taken. Full guard at night, 9 to 12. Herber found dead this morning, killed by Germans. Had morning off and slept. Gold in the night, painted CP trailer, olive drab this afternoon. Also got myself a Nazi knife and sheath. Played cards at night and lost about $18. Got to bed at 4 a.m. Okay, rode 35 miles this morning to a blown bridge site and started work on bridge. Filled in the foundation with rock on the river bottom. Bridge 80 feet long and 4 beds. Civilians also helped. Gray was shot in the thigh while trying to capture Germans. The boys brought in 5. All were wearing civilian clothes. Got an email tonight from Sylvia, my sister, and Ted Kapanekis. Also received a package from home tonight. Salami and fruitcake plus stationery. Completed fixed bridge at Heidenheim. One weighs 70 ton. Moved tonight to a new place about 25 miles from bridge. Only 5 miles to Danube River, and sleeping in kitchen tonight. Bedtime now, 11 p.m. Helen plans to marry on Sunday, May 27th. That's my older sister.
Yeah.
Went to the Danube River today and removed cable used to block mines floating down the stream. Also painted trailer, picked up heavy timbers from lumberyard, brought back to load all full type trailers and case. Reds have met Yanks. Went to Augsburg and are now southwest of Munich. Snowing hard today. It is very cold. Removed cable from across the Danube again. Worked on railroad bridge across the Lech River. Replaced one section and approaches. Filled in with gravel over the railroad ties to lessen the bumps. Removed Treadway Bridge from across the Lech River. Worked until 3 a.m. Moved from position on Lech River to Penzberg, south of Munich. Rumors war in Italy is over, also in Scandinavian countries. We are just north of the Bavarian Alps. Squad's day off, worked on rifle. War is over. This was on May 5th. War is over. And then here, officially May 8th. So that's the end of that. And then I was going to say that after the war ended, these events were spaced. I got a 3-day pass to go to Paris, so I did the tourist thing there. Later down, I got a 3-day pass to go to the Riviera, Nice, France. And that's where the enlisted men went to Nice, the officers went to Cannes. And while we were there, I took some tours, and I went to Grasse, and that was a town where famous for perfume. So I bought some perfume and sent it home to my sisters and my mother. And then that was on an individual basis. Later on, the squad went to Munich, and they went to the beer brewery, picked up a keg of beer. So we had beer with us, and we went sightseeing, and we went to Brenner Pass, which is on the border, Austria and Italy, and we went to Innsbruck, Austria, and then, let me tell you this, then they start sending people, soldiers home, and they went by a point system, you probably know that. You accumulated points depending on your seniority, how long, how many months you were in the United States, how many months you were overseas, and how many battles you were involved in, etc. So finally, so when men were going home, they had to fill these positions that they were leaving. So that's when I got reassigned to a water purification point, because whoever was at the water purification point, they had points and they left. So I had to learn how to purify water. We were in France on the river Aisne, A-I-S-N-E, and we had equipment. We put a hose in the river, and we sucked the water out of the tanks, and we treated it chemically and all that. And then we would pump it up the hill to the chateau where the officers stayed and the other troops. So I was there for quite a while, 6 months though, the record says. And a lot of things happened there, but I don't know if Gus allows me time to know. He
said yes.
Forget it.
He said yes.
You won't hear about those interesting things.
Don't listen to Gus.
I can wrap it up in 5 minutes. How's that? On this water point, it only takes 2 minutes. All the things happened. I discovered I was investigating around it, and I found some German dynamite. You know, their dynamite's different from ours. Theirs is long and thin, ours is thin. But anyway, and I found a kayak. Whoever had been there before took an empty tank from an airplane, made a kayak out of it. So I just thought, aha. I took the kayak with the dynamite, went out in the river, dropped the dynamite, of course you got to put a cap, there's a delay. And then when it goes down, it goes poof, and all these fish come up. And I'll stick with a net on it and pick up the fish. We'd have a fish fry. And then I'd send the guy over to the farmer's field to liberate a few potatoes. So that was one interesting thing. The other interesting thing was when all the other guys were left, there was only me and this other guy, John Cowell, K-A-U, from Wisconsin. I got a picture of him, you don't see him. And I said, hey, I found Mary's uncle's address. I figured out where it is. Let's unhook the equipment from the truck and go see him. And he said, okay. So we were on our own, so we took it and we went and found him. And knocked on his door. His name is Victor Dramatopoulos. And he was a tailor. And I had to explain, I talked to him in Greek who I was, and blah, blah, blah. So he invited me in. He had a young wife, French wife, and he had a little baby. And I don't remember if it was a boy or a girl. And I brought some stuff, candies, chocolates, gum, all that stuff. And then in an hour or less, I left. I went back. And then I got the call. I had enough points to come home. And I have it in my notes. February 13th is when I started my, you have to go through procedures. You go through all these camps. They're all named after cigarettes, I forgot. I have it here in my notes. Name the books. I started out in Camp Pittsburgh on February 13th, then Camp Philip Morris, then Camp Herbert Harrington, and Herbert Harrington took a week, and February 26th, and then when we got ready to come back, St. Albans Victory, and that was a long line of history. You know how many victory ships there were? 534, I looked it up. And then we arrived at Pennsylvania Station on March 7th, then we went to Camp Atterbury, Indiana, and I got my discharge at 4:30 p.m. on March 12th. The end.